Testing my mic. 1 2 1 2. Hey you guys. Okay, so today's video is going to be a little bit different than my usual videos. Yeah, it might be a little bit kind of quick, crazy, and disorganized. Excuse the bare face. I ain't put on makeup today because I am cleaning up. I decided I needed to organize and kind of straighten up my beauty space because it was getting out of hand. I don't know if any of you guys are like me, to where it's like when stuff is just all over the place, I can't function, I can't concentrate, and I definitely cannot film in a space where I feel claustrophobic and just kind of like stuff is everywhere. So I decided I needed to go through and kind of organize and rearrange my whole beauty space just so I can actually work in this space. So anywho, this video might have to be chopped up into 2 or 3. I don't know, because I'm just going to go through and show you guys my palette collection, just in case you're curious about which palettes I have, or maybe you want to see some different palettes because maybe you're looking for some different palettes to buy for your own collection. So I said, before I put everything away, as you can see, my clear cube in the back is empty because that's where all my palettes go, and some space on my shelves is empty because all of my palettes are right here. And it's crazy. So I need to hurry up and do this video, stop running my mouth, because it's gonna be a long one. So anywho, please ignore the plain face and the Mike Tyson eyes, because your girl is all natural today, so I hope y'all okay with this. So I'm just gonna go through. I don't really have any specific type of order that I'm gonna talk about these palettes. I'm not doing any swatching because then it'll get really crazy. I'm just gonna start picking up palettes and showing them, and if I have anything to say, I will. So let's just go ahead and get started with this pile. So this first palette that I have is this Tarte, and it's Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2. This is what the box looks like. Very pretty. And you know what, I was so excited to get this palette. I got this palette in my BoxyCharm last year, and I was like, ooh, oh my goodness, this bomb is so pretty. Ain't even touched it, haven't even swatched it. So that is what that looks like. It's a gorgeous palette, as you can see, but I'm gonna probably end up giving it away, because if I haven't used it by now and I don't plan on using it, it's not gonna get used by me. So next I have my Kat Von D, and this is the 10th anniversary palette. And if you watched one of my last videos that I just did recently, you've already seen me do a look with this palette. It's gorgeous, has a really pretty artistry on there, and one of my shades kind of busted a little bit, but this is what this palette looks like. Very pretty, has some gorgeous colors in there. I highly recommend it because I really enjoy using this palette. Can't wait to use it again. And next I have one of my Pat McGrath palettes. This is the Mothership Subversive La Vie in Rose palette, and I actually just did a video on this palette as well, but I don't think I have made it live yet. But this palette is absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, it has the pretty purples and pinks in there, some nice gold tones, and this palette is the bomb, okay? And this palette was gifted to me. It was one of my makeup swap palettes, and I love it. Next I have my Fenty Beauty, and this was the Galaxy palette. I really don't know how I feel about this palette. I love me some Rihanna. Girl, I love you to death, but you got me on this one. This palette is gorgeous. You know, it has the pretty multi-dimensional packaging, and it's very shiny and pretty, but this palette is basically glitter. It's all glitter. It's so, you know, whatever. If you like glitter, you like toppers, it's a great expensive palette to buy. If you like glitter. I mean, if I had the chance to purchase it again right now, knowing what I know about this palette, would I? No, I wouldn't. Not because I don't like it, not because I don't like Rihanna, but I feel like it was a waste of my money because I'm probably never going to use it. Next, I have my Naked Heat palette. Urban Decay Heat palette is gorgeous. Love, 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 love this palette. This was also gifted to me in my makeup swap. These are the colors in this palette. I'm sure you're very familiar with this palette. It's very warm, beautiful, gorgeous palette. So I definitely plan on getting a lot of use out of this palette. Love it to death. Next, let's keep it moving with another Pat McGrath palette. Okay, I love this palette and I have not used it yet. I did swatch it. Okay, I did swatch it in one of my lives that I did a while back. But this palette is gorgeous. Just the packaging alone is amazing. It just makes you feel royal and regal, and it is nice and heavy, so you know it's good quality. And let me go ahead and open this up so I can show you what this palette looks like. This palette is very, very pretty, and just testing out the shadows in the Subversive palette, I know that I'm going to love this palette as well, so I can't wait to actually use this. This is on my radar to use actually fairly soon. So keep your eye out for a look from this palette. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And so, like I said, this is the Pat McGrath Mothership, and this is the Decadence palette. Next, I have the Lime Crime Venus XL palette. Okay, this palette is to die for. I love, love, love this palette. If you like reds and pinks, this is the palette for you. This is what it looks like. Absolutely gorgeous. Inside has a mirror, of course, and these are the shadows in this palette. Very, very pretty, and this palette is extremely pigmented as well. Very pigmented and very, very nice to use, very nice to work with. Sorry about the glare. Trying to make sure my lighting is bright enough so you guys can at least see the colors in these palettes. But that palette is the bomb. Love it to death. Another beautiful red palette is the Blood Sugar palette. And I know this palette is controversial because it's a Jeffree Star palette, but you know what? It's bomb. I mean, I can't take away the quality of this palette. It's bomb. This palette was gifted to me as well. It's very cute. It has like the little medical theme, has a little medical stars in there. And then these are the shades in this palette. Very, very pretty. So you got more reds, purples, pinks, and whatnot. So very, very pretty palette. Like I said, if you love reds and pinks and purples, this is a good palette for you to get. Very nice, excellent quality. Speaking of excellent quality, I have this Natasha Denona, and this one here is the 28 eyeshadow palette. Very, very nice. It's the white one. It comes in this nice, pretty packaging here. This is Natasha Denona on there, and this is what this palette looks like. I did do a look with this palette as well. I believe I did a purple look with this palette because I wanted to do blue, but I didn't because I do blue a lot. But trust and believe your girl is going to do a blue look from this palette. So look for that. So that is the Natasha Denona 28 palette, if I can get it back in the box here. And I'm just kind of trying to keep them in somewhat of an order, like more high-end or more expensive palettes, and then moving on to different brands. So anywho, this is my Sephora Pro palette, and this is a Pro Pigment palette. It's the editorial one. A lot of beautiful, beautiful colors in this palette. This is what the packaging looks like, if you can see that. And let me just show you. It has the name card inside also, but this is what this palette looks like. This palette is the bomb. And a lot of colorful palettes, you will use them or try them and the pigment is not there. This palette, the pigment is there. The pigment is there, okay? If you want a colorful palette that you don't have to fight with and you don't have to stress over, this is it. It does have a little bit of fallout, but I really don't care about fallout. I know some people do. I don't care about fallout. If you're going to give me the color and the pigment, I'll take a little bit of fallout any day. Okay, so that is the Sephora Pro. Now I want to move on to, you know what, let's talk about Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have 4 of their palettes. I have the Modern Renaissance, of course. Everybody knows about the Modern Renaissance. Mine is a little bit dirty and scratched up, even though I haven't used it that much. But these are the shades in the Modern Renaissance. Very, very pretty. It has the nice red and burgundy tones in there. So this is a palette that if you love makeup and you're into makeup and you want a palette that is guaranteed to work every time, Modern Renaissance. Next, I have the ABH Prism palette. I love this palette, and actually I need to use it more because this palette is the bomb. It has the beautiful black velvet. You know, like the Renaissance has the pinky type velvet. This one has the black velvet, and these are the colors in this palette. I don't know if you can see that, but these colors are amazing, and I feel like the light is washing the colors out because it's not really giving it justice. This yellow and this blue, amazing. So, and I did a look with this green up here. It's kind of like it's green, but the color kind of shifts, so it's bomb. This palette I would highly recommend if you like those colors and you like to do dramatic looks. The Prism is a bomb palette from ABH. The Subculture. Now the Subculture palette is one that was wrought with controversy, with all the fallout and the extreme pigment and it falling apart the first time you used it. This palette has the green velvet, and these are the shades. I don't even think I've used this palette yet. I need to though, but I haven't used this palette yet. These are the shades in this palette. Bring it a little bit closer. So it has more of the greens and golds, kind of the warm tone colors in this palette. I'm pretty sure everyone is familiar with this palette. And you know, the ABH palettes do come with a double-sided brush in each one of their palettes. I usually take those out and just throw them in my brush bin because they are nice brushes. I just don't like brushes in my palettes because they just fall out and irritate me. Next, the Soft Glam. So this is the last ABH palette that I have, and I absolutely love this palette. This is another palette that was gifted to me in my makeup swap. Bomb.com. So this one has the gold velvet, which is, you know, in the same theme of the other ABH palettes, but this one has more of your everyday warm tones. Very, very pretty. So if you like just basic everyday looks, something that's not too va-va-va-voom, this is a great palette to have. I mean, you can also do something dramatic with it, definitely, but for an everyday nice soft look, that palette is perfect. Okay, so let's move on to some Too Faced palettes. I don't have that many, just a few. Of course, I have the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This is the original chocolate bar. Everyone is familiar with this palette and what it looks like. Very, very pretty. And like I said, this video is not a declutter video. So if you're waiting for me to say, oh, I'm getting rid of this palette or I'm giving this palette away, that's not gonna happen in this video. Reason being is because I'm just organizing, so I'm just showing you my palettes. I have no intention on getting rid of any of my palettes anytime soon. Next, I have the Chocolate Bar Sweet Peach palette, of course. Another one of their staple palettes. This is what the Sweet Peach looks like. Very, very pretty. Has some nice peach and warm tones. You can also pull off a nice smoky eye with this palette. And these palettes smell amazing. I smell the peach through the tin. I also have the Too Faced Chocolate Gold Bar palette, and I got this palette around the holidays last year. This palette is gorgeous. As you can see, it has the beautiful gold dripping down the chocolate bar. And I need to use this palette more as well. I just used it the other day actually for a gold look, and it came out very nice. But this one has that beautiful gold, a black, a pop of green, pink, and purple. So if you don't have any Too Faced Chocolate Bar palettes, this one is actually a really nice one to get. And they all have a really nice size mirror in the palette. So I love my chocolate bar palettes. I think chocolate bar palettes are great for transition shades and stuff like that as well, because they usually have a nice amount of tans and browns in them. So I love it for that also. Next, I have this Too Faced Best Year Ever. And I don't know if that's the name of this palette. I guess so. It came with a little annual planner thing. But I thought this palette was super cute because it looks like a book. And these are the colors in this palette. Very, very pretty. I actually really like this palette. I think this is a great travel palette because it has some really nice shades in here. But this was one that I bought around the holidays. I don't even think they have that anymore, but I'm not sure. So that is that. And last from Too Faced, I believe, is the Too Faced Natural Love palette. This is a palette that I never pick up, never grab, never even think about. It's a palette that my daughter bought me for Mother's Day last year, I believe. And it's a gorgeous palette. It has a giant mirror in here, some really pretty shades. This is another palette if you like just basic, everyday, neutral, natural type looks. This palette would probably be a great palette for you to get. But anybody that knows my personality, this palette does not fit my personality at all. It's just, it's too basic. Okay, next let's talk about some Morphe palettes. I have here the Morphe 15N, and this is the Night Master palette, I guess. It comes in this hard case black palette. It has a really nice size mirror in here, but these are the shades in this palette. Very pretty. I actually really like this palette. I love the deep purple and plum shades as well as the peachy or light tan shades. So I really like this palette. I think I've only used it once as of yet. This is something that I actually, this shouldn't even be in my palette collection right now actually, because this is like, you know what, I'm not even gonna talk about it. Okay, so next from Morphe, I have the Jaclyn Hill palette, of course. You guys aren't familiar with this. And I believe this is the first style of palette that she came out with, because this one is like the cardboard one. I don't know. I think the new one that she came out with, you can actually wipe it off and keep it clean, but not this one. And I was kind of irritated because I was like fighting and kicking and begging and screaming to get this palette, thinking that it was going to be limited edition and not available anymore. And we all know you can buy it on every corner. So anyway, this is the Jaclyn Hill palette. Gorgeous, very pretty. I do not grab or use this palette as much as I should. This is a bomb palette and I really need to remember that I have it, especially after everything I went through to get it. Okay, so next from Morphe, I have here the 3502 palette, and this is the one that they came out with, I guess, a few months ago or so. It's like the 350 palette or whatever, but it has like brighter reds and burgundies and whatnot in there. So this palette is really pretty, actually. It's gorgeous and I need to use it. So that is that. Okay, next, one of my favorite palettes is this gigantic palette from Morphe, the Dare to Create. And this is the 39A, a really pretty gold swoop design on there. This is what the inside of this palette looks like. Okay, like, who wouldn't love this palette? I mean, you can do almost anything with this palette. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, and the colors are amazing. So this is actually one of my favorite palettes. It's just huge. It's not very user or travel friendly, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So I think the last group of palettes I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be my shophush.com palettes, because this video is already 20 minutes and so I don't want to go over 30 minutes. So I'm just going to quickly go through my shophush.com. Now these two palettes I just bought, as you can see, they're still in the plastic wrapping, so I haven't even swatched or anything yet. But these are from Beauty Creations, and this is the Elsa palette. It's very, very pretty. I actually have been waiting for this to come back in stock because it just looked gorgeous to me and I wanted it. And there's no mirror in these palettes, but these are the colors in this Elsa palette. And like I said, I got this from shophush.com. Very, very pretty. And these are cruelty free from Beauty Creations. Next, I have this Olivia palette, and I actually wanted this palette even more than I wanted that Elsa palette, because this palette is just really, really pretty. This palette, to me, it screams fall, and if you love like olives and plums and warm shades, this palette is really, really nice. So these two palettes I just picked up from shophush.com when I saw them come back into stock. Next, I got a couple of palettes from Okalon. Both of these are in metal tins. This one is called the Cosmic palette, and it has some really pretty, like, just kind of glittery type shades. I think this whole palette actually is a shimmer palette, so it's very, very nice. The colors in here are great. I think I've used it once. This one is called the Metals palette. All of these shades are metallic as well, but it has more warm shades, kind of like, you know, earth tone type shades. Very, very pretty. I don't know if I've used that or not. Next, I have a palette that I just did a video on, which is my Lightspeed palette. So you guys might be familiar with this palette, you might not, but this is a dupe for the Kat Von D Divine palette. So this is what the Lightspeed palette looks like. Very, very pretty. If you're into blues and grays and blacks, this palette is perfect. But this is a very specific palette. So next I have the Inferno, and this was a dupe, I believe, for the Heat palette. And this is what this palette looks like. And it looks like I actually used it, but I don't remember using this palette. So I couldn't tell you the quality on it because I don't remember using it. But this is a dupe for the Heat palette from Shop Hush called the Inferno. Next, let me see here. Oh, I have my Wild palette from Face Candy. And I believe this is a dupe also for a palette. The Sinner and Saint palette, I think this is supposed to be a dupe for. This palette is really upside down. This palette is very, very nice. I don't know if you can tell, but you can feel it's like raised suede on here. The texture on here is amazing. I took this palette with me on vacation and it did me right. This palette did me right. The pigment is very nice and I really, really enjoyed using this palette. So I know that this palette is a good palette because it worked for me on vacation. Didn't have any issues with it at all. Next, I have another palette from Okalon. This is a pressed pigment palette, and I believe this is a dupe palette as well. I believe it's a dupe for the Alice in Wonderland palette that somebody came out with a while back ago. I didn't know that when I purchased it at the time, but I believe I found that out later. So the design on this packaging is very, very pretty. Very pretty. I have not used this palette as much as I wanted it. Surprisingly enough, I haven't used it. It has a cute little mirror in here, and a brush. It does come with a brush, but these are the shadows in this palette. Very pretty, colorful palette, nice and playful. I believe I did swatch it, but I don't think I actually used it. So I really do need to use this palette because I was like kicking and fighting and screaming like I had to have it. Next, I have here a palette from brand that I'm not that familiar with. It's called Malibu Glitz, and this is just a 26 color eyeshadow palette. I picked this up because I thought it was cute. You know, it reminded me of like a CD or a disc or something like that. And it's basically just a palette of nice and neutral shadows. It has a cute little mirror in the center, as you can see. But it's really just full of nice, pretty, neutral matte shades. I don't even think there's any shimmers in here. I think these are all mattes. So it's a great just basic palette to have if you need to just pick up some mattes or something like that. It's not very easy to store because it's round, but very cute palette. Next, I have this palette from Beauty Treats. It's called All About Eyes. And I really like this palette because, once again, it's just a basic neutral palette. I haven't used this palette yet. As you can see, it comes with the two little basic eyeshadow brushes in there. There are some creams in here, so I believe you can do your eyebrows as well as, you know, use it just for a basic smoky eye or everyday eye look. So that is why I grabbed this, because I thought it would be a nice little basic eyeshadow palette to have. So I picked this up from Shop Hush as well. And with Beauty Treats, I actually have found that I really like their palettes. They're very inexpensive, but I really like their palettes because my favorite blush is like from a Beauty Treats blush palette. So I'm like, they must have good quality stuff. So this is the Retro Love, which is the dupe for the Subculture palette from ABH. So it'll look very familiar to you because it's the dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. I did use this palette, and when I used it, it turned out muddy for me. I've seen a lot of videos of people using it and they were like, oh, it's the bomb, it's great, it's all this and that. But for me, it didn't work out that well. So it could have been user error. I'll try to use it again and see what happens because it's a really pretty palette. But when I used it, it just kind of looked a bit muddy. So I don't know. Next, I have the Amazonia, and this is from Face Candy. And they also have the Sahara palette. I did do a video on both of these palettes. Gorgeous palettes. This is the Amazonia palette. So pretty. Very nice. I love these palettes. Great quality too from Face Candy. These palettes, I believe, are dupes as well. I don't remember what they're dupes for though. You know, Shop Hush has so many dupes that it's like, it's hard to keep track. This is the Sahara palette. Looks like this. Absolutely gorgeous. And this is what the inside of the Sahara palette looks like. Hopefully you can see the colors nicely. But that is what the Sahara palette looks like inside. Now, y'all, I don't have one in fancy cameras, so you might not be able to see the color popping through as nicely as they actually look. A lot of times I don't think my camera on my phone does these palettes justice. Okay, next I have this Beauty Treats palette, and this is just called the Eye Contour palette. This is what it looks like. And this kind of reminds me of, I think, like a Kat Von D type dupe. Let me open this up. But this is what this palette looks like. So it's just kind of like a highlight, contour, and define palette, which is really cool to have. These kind of palettes are great to have in your collection just because, you know, you can always use a nice transition shade or a black or a white if you have a palette that doesn't have these shades in it. So this is another nice palette from ShopHush.com. Okay, next, I'm trying to go fast. Okay, next I have all of the palettes from the After collection. So we have After Dark, After Party, After Shock, After Hours. So all four of these beautiful little palettes I have. And these are dupes for the Huda Beauty palettes. I'm saying a lot, so. And I ain't gonna do that much editing, so I apologize for saying 50 times in this video. This one is After Party. Perfect palette for doing basic smoky eyes and stuff like that. This is After Hours. Packaging is very, very pretty, very nice on these palettes. This one has more of like the red burgundy tones to it. So this one is After Hours. This is the Aftershock palette, which is the bright Kolorful palette. Let me go ahead and show you this one. I don't know why I keep all the boxes for my palettes. Am I weird for that? So these are the colors in this Aftershock palette. Very, very pretty. Absolutely gorgeous. You can buy these palettes individually, or you can buy them as a set. And I don't know if they still have the sale going on, but if you buy them in a set, it's a little bit cheaper. And this one is the After Dark palette. And this After Dark palette I really, really like, because it has the beautiful, like, warm sunset type feel to it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So I love this palette. This is the After Dark palette. I mean, you can pick up any of these palettes aside from the Aftershock, the bright colorful one, but you can pick up any of these palettes and use them as companion palettes for other palettes you might have. Next, I have the Bad Habits Solstice, and I believe these palettes are dupes for the Natasha Denona palettes, like the Sunset palette and the Purple palette and whatever. This is what this palette looks like inside. So this is the Bad Habits Solstice palette. Very, very pretty, and I have not used this palette yet, I don't think. I plan on it though. I plan on it. Next is the Bad Habits Supernova palette. And I think this palette is actually very popular. This one, I think, this is what the packaging looks like. This one, yeah, it has the really pretty purples and burgundies and all that stuff in there. So this palette, I think, is really, really popular on the Shop Hush site. I think both of them are, and I've seen some pretty good reviews on these palettes as well. So might want to check them out. You know, if you can't spend the coin for the Natasha Denona, you might want to check those out. Okay, next I have this palette by Amuse Cosmetics eyeshadow palette, and this one is one that I got because the colors are absolutely gorgeous, but I don't really gravitate to the round or like baked type shadows. These colors are really, really pretty. As you can see, you can probably guess why I purchased this palette. It's absolutely gorgeous. Haven't used it yet. I definitely plan on using it, but the rounded baked eyeshadows I don't really gravitate to that much, but I'm gonna check this one out for show, for show. Next, I have the Okalon Natural Matte Metal Eyeshadow Palette. See how big this thing is? It's huge. And I believe this is a dupe for the Kat Von D Metals palette. So, let me go ahead and open this up and show it to you. This is what the palette looks like. There is a mirror in here. So, here's the mirror. These are the shadows. So this is a very, very big palette. Hopefully you can see all those colors. So I'm very excited to use this palette. I'm just curious on how it's going to perform with it being such a huge palette and with it being a dupe. I don't have the original to compare it to, so I won't know if it is as good as the original, but still want to try it. Jeez, I didn't know I had so many Shop Hush palettes, you guys. So these two palettes I got from Okalon. These are liquid metal eyeshadow palettes. I'll try and show you both of them at the same time. They do still have plastic on them, so hopefully I can show it without it being too blinding. But these are the colors in these two eyeshadow palettes. Very, very pretty. They're like metallic shadows, you know, ones that you would just take on your finger and press them, you know, in the center of your lid. So that is what these two eyeshadow palettes look like, and I believe these are very popular as well because they sold out a couple of times before I was able to get them. So those are the Kolorful Liquid Metal eyeshadow palette. This one is the Dream State palette from Bad Habit, and I honestly believe that this palette is a dupe for the Fenty Galaxy palette because this is all glitter, and these glitter shadows are like the same colors that are in her Galaxy palette. I could be wrong, it might not be a dupe for it, but it looks like a dupe for it to me. So this is what the Dream State palette looks like, and it is all glitter. So I don't know if you can actually tell that online because I didn't know it was all glitter when I bought it. Next I have the infamous Aphrodite palette from Shop Hush. Okay, very, very popular palette, very pretty. And these are the shades in this palette. And of course, everybody knows this is a dupe for the Huda Beauty, the Huda Beauty palette. I guess the, what is it? I don't know. One of them, the first one, I guess. So that is what this is a dupe for. And then we also have the Athena, which is gorgeous. Very, very pretty. So this is what the packaging looks like for the Athena. Absolutely gorgeous. This palette is beautiful and I haven't used it yet. Absolutely gorgeous. I actually gave one of these away to one of my good friends and she fell in love with it, so I had to order me another one because I have to have it. You know, I just have to have it in my collection, so I went ahead and ordered me another one after I gave her mine. I actually have two Aphrodite palettes because I purchased one to have out of town when I go visit my husband and one to have at home. So I know I'm a hot mess. I actually have two of those. This is the natural eyeshadow palette from Kolorful. This is like a dupe, I believe, for the chocolate bar palette, except theirs, you know, has little hearts or whatever. There's a mirror on here, but theirs has little hearts for the shadows, and it's definitely not the same quality as the chocolate bar to me, but it'll make do. Next, I have this Prolux Eyes palette. Packaging is very, very nice. The actual palette is just the same. It has the texture on there with the gold writing, and I did actually use this palette in a video, but this is what the shadows look like in this palette. Very, very pretty. Very, very nice. So that is the Prolux Eyes palette from shophush.com. I have two more palettes from shophush.com, and then I'm going to call it quits for this video because this video, jeez Louise, and I feel like I'm going like super fast going through these palettes, so I might even have to chop it up and move the Shop Hush to another video. But next I have the JCat 24 eyeshadow palette, and this is the Melrose palette. So let me go ahead and show you the JCat Melrose palette. Okay, so this is what the JCat Melrose palette looks like. Gorgeous, very, very pretty. So that is the JCat Melrose palette from Shop Hush that I purchased. And the last palette here that I have from Shop Hush is, well, at least the last one I'm talking about in this video. It's another JCat palette. Ooh, oh, okay, I was going to say, I didn't even open the box. Gee whiz. And this one is the Hollywood palette. So this is what the outside looks like for the Hollywood palette. And let me show you what the inside looks like. So this is the Hollywood palette on the inside. So as you can see, there's a few little pops of color in there. Very, very pretty. A different type of palette to have. And the pans are actually a pretty decent size. So you guys, okay, that is it for this video. I guess this will be installment 1 of my palette collection before I organize and put everything back. I'm going to cut this up and do part 2 next, and I'm going to move on to some of my Amazon palettes, BH Cosmetics, which you know that's a video all in itself. and just some other miscellaneous palettes and smaller palettes. So if you have stuck in here this long and hung with me to go through some of my palettes, thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you on my next video. Thank you so much. Look out for part 2, and I will see you in a bit. Toodles!